So next we will be talking about the modular arithmetics. Okay, so let's talk about the modular arithmetics. Okay, so for before that, before starting to that, we have something called as remainder theorem. So let me tell you guys about something about remainder theorem. Let's say we have 181, we have 182, we have 183. You need to multiply all three of them, and then you need to divide it by 18, and then you need to find out the remainder. So how will you do that? So one is the lengthy method, like as usual you will multiply all of these three terms and then you will divide it by 18, right? And then you will find the remainder. So that will be a really tough of a job. So a remainder theorem states that if we have three things multiplied with each other, finds the remainders separately, finds the remainder separately. So we know that 18 tens are 180, so the remainder will be 1 for this one, 2 for this one, 3 for this one, and then multiply the remainders, so it will be 6. So the remainder will be 6. Okay, so this is my remainder theorem. It simply says that if you have like numbers multiplied with each other, and let's say we have a 184 as well here, so a 4 will also be added, so 6 4 ja, it will be 24, right? Now this 24, in case of 6 it was fine because 6 is the remainder, but in case of 24, if I get the number greater than this 18, the denominator, then I need to divide it again with 18, and then I'll see the again the remainder is 6. Okay, so whatever answer we got after multiplication, we need to just to make sure, we need to do a recheck that the number is lesser than this, right? So let's say you create a variable mode, let's say int mode equal to, let's say you save a value 5 7 10, whatever the value is. Let's say you have some numbers, let's say two numbers for now, a cross b. So if you need to find the mode or the remainder, that when you divide this thing by mode, what would be the remainder, right? So what would be the remainder? So what you can do is you can take the mode separately with a, then you can take the mode separately with b modulo this mode, and then you can multiply them, and then you can take a overall mode as well, to make sure that if this multiplication goes greater than the mode value, then you need to take one more extra mode here, right? So that is how this mode thing works, right? That is how this mode thing works. And basically it's used in case of factorials, right? Or where we need to deal with the numbers, very very huge numbers. Okay, so if you let's say if you for try you're gonna try finding factorial, so 1 to 20 approx it will work. After 20 the value will become bigger and bigger, and for 100 factorial it will be approximately 10 raised to power 57, and it's not possible to save this much bigger of a number, right, in any variable, even not in long, right? So what we will do is, now let's say if you have a problem statement where you need to deal with factorials. Okay, so now what author will do is he will tell you just print 10e plus 7. Okay, I don't remember, it's I guess how much value they give in general, I guess 10 raised to power 9. Yeah, they give 10 raised to power 9. So they say 10e 9 plus 7, right? 1e 9 plus 7. So it means that 10 raised to power 9 plus 7, you need to find a mode of this value, right? So what does it mean, right? It means you need to find the mode, you need to find the remainder, right? So let's say now you may ask, why such a huge value? Now why such a huge value? Let's say they gave a value 10 that you need to find with 10. Now what will happen? Now let's say if there is a very very huge value, then if you divide it by 10, the remainder will be always the last digit. So the remainder could be 0 1 2 3 up to 9 only, right? So how much chances are there that your wrong answer will match with their correct answer, right? So there is a possibility that the answer is 2 3 4 5 6, and your answer is 3 4 3 2 6. So the last digit still matches, right? So to increase the precision, where they increase the mode value. Now you may ask, why this plus 7? We'll come to that as well, don't worry. So first of all, I guess the basic purpose of mode is clear, right? Addition and subtraction rules are also kind of similar. If you have a plus b mode, then it's equivalent to a mod b plus b mod and the overall mode. In case of subtraction, there is a little difference because when you do this thing, right, a minus and then b mode, so there is a possibility this value may get negative. So what you will do is you will add a mode here, you will add a mode here, and then you will take the mode. Okay, that's the difference. That's the only difference in case of negative. Then for division, let's say for a by b, so let's say if you have a number something like, let's say 2 by 3, so it's a decimal number, so there is no point of finding the mode of this number, right? So there is a little it's different in case of division. So for understanding division part, we need to first learn the Fermat-Little theorem. So let's start with that. So what this Fermat-Little theorem says is, let's say you have a integer a, let's say you have a integer a, and also let's say you have a prime, let's say p, then it says a to the power p minus a mod p will always be 0. This is my Fermat-Little theorem. We need not to go deeper in this, how this is proved or how this theorem is working. We will be directly using this because we are not mathematicians. So let's open this bracket. So it will be ap mod p minus a mod p equal to 0. So I can say a mod p will be equal to a power p mod p, right? So let's divide it by a square on both the sides, right? So now what will happen? It will be equivalent to 1 upon a mod p, and this thing will be a raised to power p minus 2 mod p, right? So this will be equivalent to something like this. Okay, so this will be useful for us. Let's say this is equation 1. So the formula for the division mode is, we will be creating that one. Wait a sec. Yeah, so let's say we have a by b mode. So what I can say is a multiplied by 1 upon b mode, right? So for we know the formula for multiplication. We know the formula for multiplication. So now I can say a mode multiplied by 1 by b mode and the overall mode, right? And for this part, we just found the formula. For this part, we just found the formula. So what you need to do for this part is you need to use the power function. Inside power function, uh, what we will do is we will pass this b comma, and the power will be mod minus 2, because here this p will be mod, right? And p should be a prime number. So when I'm saying 10 raised to power 9 plus 7, so we make sure that this number is a prime number. Plus 5 will also work, okay, because we need a prime number for Fermat-Little theorem. Okay, so that's why we take a plus 7 or a plus 5, because 10 raised to power 9 is not a prime number, it's a even number. So we do a plus 5 or a plus 7 to make it a prime number. So that's why this we write here b comma mod minus 2. So we need to pass this thing, and then we will take a mode of this thing, right? So you can put this thing in this formula. So that's how the division mode will work. That's how the division mode will work. So if you anywhere see something like this, a divided by b cross c, and you need to take the mode, so you, it is equivalent to b raised to power mod minus 2 multiplied by c raised to power mod minus 2, and just take the mode of this thing. Simply do this mod minus 2. Okay, just simply do a mod minus 2 and then take the mode as usual. Okay, just convert this thing, write this thing as this way: a multiplied by b mod minus 2 multiplied by c mod minus 2, and then take a mode as per the simple multiplication rule. Okay, as per the simple multiplication rule, so it will work out. So one more thing, the stl power function in c++, it will not work for such a huge power, because the mode value is something like this, 10 raised to power 9. So we will be using the binary exponentiation. for finding the power, we'll be writing this power function by ourselves. So we will do that when we will come to the factorial classes or the combinatrix classes, right? Combinations, permutations, combination we will see. So there we will be needing the factorial, so we will write the power function as well by ourselves, and then we will move further. Okay, so okay then, I guess the modular arithmetic is clear. What is the purpose of mode is clear. So you can just if you are a beginner, you can just simply try this mode operator on a smaller number, let's say 100 mode 5 or 100 mode 7. You will see it is giving you the remainder. And you will see that if you want to find the remainder for this thing, so this remainder multiplied by this will be equivalent to this thing. And this way you will be able to drive all the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division formulas for the modular arithmetic. Okay then, we'll see you in the next class where we will be learning about the permutations and combinations. Okay then, bye.